Hi there! Today I will be discussing how My Lady Jane invites the Tudor era to be read through a reflective lens using its textual content. To do so, I will be engaging with Svetlana Boym's concept of restorative and reflective nostalgia and analysing a 5-minute clip from episode 7. Costume is an integral part of My Lady Jane, and while most pieces follow the typical expectations of the Tudor period, the show takes creative liberty in the details. In the court scene, Seymour dons a fun geometric pattern and Mary a bright purple colour, while Guildford styles his shirt and doublet open during the bridge scene, serving a more generalised historical period to show character rather than accuracy. The muted colours of the servants, uncommon for the exact period being conveyed, and the generic soldiers' uniforms again suggest a vagueness in period. In hair and makeup, we see 50s-inspired curls on Jane and a modern slick-back hairstyle on Mary. Costume draws on our common understanding of the Tudor medieval period and understands specific accuracy is not required in order to make us nostalgic for this period. Set and props follow a similar pattern to that of costume, with obvious links to the Tudor period. Whitewashed walls, tapestries and paintings litter the scenes, notably Henry VIII's portrait. Books and candles call back to a time before technology and bring with them a sense of nostalgia for simplicity. Everything looks Tudor, but the show does not try to restore the past. The pops of colour and flashy jewellery show us this. Sets serve as vessels for acting. They are there to look Tudor and create an illusion of past rather than restoring the time period. As Svetlana Boym notes, in restorative nostalgia, the past is a perfect snapshot. The past is not supposed to reveal any signs of decay. It has to be freshly painted in its original image and remain eternally young. My Lady Jane does not aim for a perfect snapshot. It picks and chooses the elements it would like to depict enough to look back on the era without creating any illusion that what we are seeing is truth. In a similar way to the nostalgia snack bar Boym discusses, it is composed of both official symbols and multiple fragments and splinters of the past. Music in the show acknowledges both the time the story is set, through the score, but also uses a wide range of more modern influences from punk rock to pop. The show acknowledges the shifts from then till now, making it fun for the audience and considering the connection between past, present and future. Its focus is not on recovering what is perceived to be true, but as Svetlana Boym notes, on the mediation of history and passage of time. A majority of acting within the show is delivered naturalistically, but a few characters are exaggerated. The overcharacterization of Mary and Seymour, particularly in the court scene, draw on our collective memory of taught Tudor history, the classical villains we remember in the form of Bloody Mary and her infamous father Henry VIII, to create nostalgia for the period. These real characters restore the feeling of the past without any depth of commemoration towards them, a point of reflective nostalgia highlighted by Boym. The dialogue content used hugely informs the style of nostalgia seen in the show. In this extract, the swearing from Jane's servants and the modern phrases used make it clear the show has no aim to restore the past. The dialogue connects the modern audience to the story and allows us to glimpse at what Tudor England may have felt like rather than what it was. There is a gap between identity and resemblance. The dialogue also introduces the irony and humour Boym outlines as an element of reflective nostalgia. Comedy is something all periods share. The narrator is another vital element, acting as our voice of reason in this world. We can long for the mise-en-scène shown on screen, but his character acknowledging the changes between then and now, we can critically see our time as the preferred experience. Scenes are short and snappy. It keeps the pace going and doesn't mimic the reel of passage of time like many restorative shows. White cuts between scenes bring our awareness to the fact that we are watching a show and allow us to look back on the period shown fondly without the need to recreate the actualities of the past. The cinematography in the show jumps from extreme wide shots to close-ups. Shots are framed to fit certain modern aesthetics, the likes of Wes Anderson, for instance, in this scene. This again acknowledges the period the show is made within and our aesthetic views of filmmaking. My Lady Jane doesn't aim for verisimilitude. We are under no impression that what it is depicting is the truth. Instead, it cherishes select elements of the past and takes direct inspiration from the evolving elements seen both then in that time and now to create a feeling of what the past may have been rather than what it was. In a way, the show mocks our longing for this time period, noting the absurdities of its backwards nature while appealing to the shared frameworks of memory we have for this time through costume and atmosphere.